Okay, I'm Steve Phillips, and today I'm working on part two of unloading and preserving a Civil War James projectile. It belongs to Don McAlpin, and he got me to work on it for it. We've been running it in electrolysis since yesterday, and let's see if I can make this show it a little better. Now I've got it turned off now, and I'm going to disconnect and take the projectile out. As you can see, the rust is just sloughing off now, just falls off. Now this one was found on dry land, and it works better in reverse electrolysis than one that was found in the water would. In the water, it's much harder to get the scale and matrix that builds up on them off, but on dry land it usually comes off real good like this one is. And all I'm going to do now with this is I could either sit there and pick at this for a while, but I've got a big tumbler, and I'm going to put it in that and let it just sort of clean it up with some gravel, and I think it'll clean it up real quick, and we'll see. Okay, this is my tumbler, and I'm going to put the projectile in it. It's got some water in it, and it's got some gravel. And then this is an 8-inch tompion that I'll push in here. Oh, that's not tightening up. I'll turn it on and let it tumble a little while. I'm going to let it tumble just for maybe 15 minutes. Because everything should be loose on it, that's going to come loose, and that's all. I just want to knock the loose stuff off. I don't want to tumble long enough to erode too much of the metal. Okay, I've taken it out of the tumbler now, and I always want to show that some of the black powder is still in there, or was still in there, and it loosened up in the tumbler. And so I'm going to wash a little more of the powder out. And see how it's coming out dark? See how much powder was still in there? And there's probably still more. You don't ever get it out on the first try, or you don't usually. So then I'm gonna take this and clean it up a little bit more with a screwdriver, a hammer. Okay, we have washed the powder out, tumbled it, ran it through electrolysis. Now we're going to look at it a little bit. You can see how the electrolysis and the tumbling took the green off of the copper anvil cap of the fuse, and that's just something you're going to lose in anytime you're doing electrolysis. The green, which I like, is gone. But this turned out real nice because it's got the copper safety wire showing that goes through the shell, and part way through the slider in there that has a percussion cap on it. That's this is what keeps it from going off if you just drop it or something. It has to really slam because this copper wire goes through and has to be busted from impact. So that's nice that it shows up so good here. Now all I'm going to do is take a little screwdriver and try to get some of this dirt and stuff off. That should come off pretty easy. I'm not going to try to get it all out, but I'm going to get most of it out. Another thing you can see, if we turn around, is this little white spot here. This is part of the lead from the sabot that's been thrown when it was fired. This is a fired projectile, and it would have had lead and tin around here, but some of the lead went down into the holes, and the gases would come in from the back and blow the sabot out to make it try to take the riflet. James shells did not work good. They were very dangerous because they blew the pieces of tin and lead off into their own troops before it got to the people they were shooting at. So we had a few dead Yankees, no great loss. This step is to help me get rid of some of the dirt, but mostly to help me get rid of sulfides. Now this shell is from way inland, so it's not really exposed to salt water like something from the Carolinas or Mobile or anywhere close where it just could have a little bit of salt water contamination, and that's full of sulfides. And the best way that I find to get rid of sulfides that doesn't take too long would be to boil it in fresh water, and that's what I'm doing here. I've got water, and I'm going to boil that until it really boils hard. Then I'm going to change the water. I'm going to do it again, and I may do it a third time. It's going to get rid of some sulfides if there are any going to cause me trouble. It's going to soften up the remainder of the black powder if there is any, and hopefully it's going to soften up some of that dirt in those holes, because electrolysis doesn't get rid of doesn't work good in holes, and a James projectile is probably harder than any to clean up. So we're going to do this for quite a few hours today, and I'll change it. If it was one that was exposed to salt water, like something close to Mobile Bay or in Carolinas and all, then I would boil it over and over and over. I had one time that came from Mobile Bay that was rotten, and I boiled it for weeks, changing the water until no more dirty water came out of it. And then I preserved it, and it stabilized it, and that was probably over 30 years ago, and it's not done anything since. So I guess I did all right on that one. We'll see how this does. The final step I'm going to do now, which will be, we've already cleaned it, boiled it in water, and I've chipped off most that I could. There's still a little bit of dirt on it that's just too hard to clean out, so I'm not going to do it. But now I'm going to use the tannic acid, which is this product right here. It's Gimpler's Rust Converter, and it's basically a tannic acid product, and it does a chemical reaction with the iron. You have to shake this up good, and the first thing I'm going to do is pour it inside the projectile so it'll preserve it from the inside as well as the out. this stuff cleans up with water on your brushes and all. It can turn your hands black pretty easy. So we're going to pour a little bit inside. And then what comes out is what I'm going to use on the outside. I'll probably put on 2 coats of this. It really only needs one. Now, a lot of people use, to preserve, they'll use polyurethane or tung oil. I used to use big vats of paraffin, but it was dangerous because it can catch on fire, and also you can get paraffin poisoning from it. Then I changed to microcrystalline wax, which was much better, and it can get really hot. It can even melt lead. I ruined a perfect Confederate Borman fuse with it one time. And the hot vats are dangerous because of, if there's an air cavity in a projectile, it can blow up. And I had that happen twice, which was really something. I'm glad I wasn't right by it, or I'd have been killed. But I no longer use that. I use this, and I like it a lot better. It's easy, it's quick, and it does a good job. Whereas other people like what they like, but this is what I like. Now it should have, since I filled the cavity, it should have coated it pretty well. And now I'm just going to paint it. It goes on sort of cream colored. And it immediately turns purple. So going on white or cream colored, it immediately will start turning purple. And then over the next half hour or so, it's going to turn black. What this does, it doesn't just coat. It does a chemical reaction with the iron, which is better than just coating it. As far as just coating it goes, what happens years later is the coating sealed it a bit, but it didn't actually stop anything from happening, so it just comes off in big hunks. And I don't like it, but other people have much better luck, and everybody do whatever they want to do. You'll want to wash this, if anybody ever does any of this, they want to wash this off their hands pretty quick. But it comes out of the brush easy. I think I've got it everywhere. And so that'll just sit for a little while, and that'll be it. Well, it's all over now but the shouting. The James shell turned out really nice. It's museum grade now. Anybody'd be proud to have this one. You can even, there's the little safety wire where my finger is. And I'll be sending it back to him, back to Don today.